Al menos 3 influencers sinaloenses les arrebataron la vida con violencia en menos de 3 meses en Culiacán, en medio de la crisis de violencia que desató la polémica detención de El Mayo.
In 2024, 3 popular YouTubers were killed within 90 days by the Sinaloa cartel. Their deaths shocked Mexico, but one question remained unanswered. What did they do to provoke one of the world's most dangerous criminal groups? Let's take a look at some times YouTubers messed with the wrong cartel. In 2021, Elmpa Jorge posted a video that would end up changing his life in a way he probably never expected. In it, he casually talks about meeting Iván Archibaldo, the son of none other than Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, and what seemed like an innocent story quickly went viral, and not in the way many of you influencers hope for. The video caused a stir, and soon enough it became clear that Jorge's offhand mention of his run-in with Iván had caught the attention of the wrong people. Jorge Luis, known online as Elmpa Jorge, was a 36-year-old Mexican YouTuber from Culiacán, Sinaloa. His channel, which had approximately 65,300 subscribers, featured content primarily focused on off-road vehicles, showcasing his passion for cars and UTVs. Beyond automotive topics, Jorge also shared personal anecdotes and experiences from his life in Sinaloa. In March 2021, Jorge publishes a video recounting a time when he was with Iván Archibaldo Guzman Salazar. He described how Iván complimented the sound system in his vehicle, expressing interest in its brand. And while Jorge shared his encounter in a laid-back, almost nonchalant way, the implication of his words didn't sit well with some of the cartels. It's believed that his story, though innocent in tone, upset some very powerful people in the world of organized crime. Now fast forward a year, and many believe that this video, along with the controversy it stirred, may have just played a direct role in his tragic death. The tale he thought was just a fun story turned into something much darker, and in the end, it may have sealed his fate. On April 18, 2022 at approximately 1:45 p.m., Jorge was assassinated outside his residence on Gilberto Owen Street in the Guadalupe Victoria neighborhood of Culiacán. And as he approached his home, 2 armed individuals ambushed him, firing at least 10 shots, primarily targeting his torso. Despite prompt medical attention, he was declared DOA at a nearby clinic. While initial reports speculated that the motive may have been a robbery gone wrong, the execution-style nature of the killing led authorities to consider organized crime involvement. However, he posted an IG story revealing his location 45 minutes before his death, and in his car he casually talked about checking the queue in the bank. While it's unclear if his social media activity directly led to his death, sharing real-time location details can pose significant risks, especially in areas with high crime rates. Subsequent investigations revealed that Jorge had prior legal issues as well, including a 2020 arrest for illegal firearm possession and associations with individuals linked to organized crime. Now, these findings further fueled theories about his potential connections to narco-trafficking activities. In the aftermath of Jorge's death, some reports suggested that Iván Archibaldo Guzman may have ordered the execution, while others suggest his enemies. However, concrete evidence linking him directly to the crime remains unverified. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the potential repercussions of intertwining personal narratives with the complex world of narco-trafficking. August 2022 saw the untimely death of a beloved Mexican YouTuber, seemingly due to his deep love for his culture. However, as more details surfaced, it became apparent that there was more to his tragedy than initially believed. Ruben Ortega, better known as Super Chinello, was a passionate social media influencer and cultural streamer, dedicated to preserving and celebrating Mexico's rich traditions. His primary focus was the Chinello dance, a vibrant and historical practice that originated in Morelos. The dance, with its indigenous and colonial history, had become a symbol of cultural resistance and pride. Ortega, fascinated by these traditions, made it his mission to document and share them with the world. Residing in the bustling city of Ixtapaluca, Mexico, Ortega was well known for attending cultural events dressed in a traditional Chinello costume, his face concealed behind an intricately designed mask. His dedication went beyond mere performance. He would take time to interview indigenous people, learn their stories, and broadcast their voices to a wider audience. His YouTube channel, launched on January 21, 2019, quickly gained popularity, featuring numerous videos highlighting Mexico's diverse cultural celebrations. And through this platform, he sought to educate, entertain, and instill pride in the country's traditions. However, on the night of August 31, 2022, tragedy strikes in the most unexpected of ways. Ortega had just arrived home with his wife and child, and after stepping out of the car to open the gate, he's suddenly confronted by two armed men. In a matter of seconds, gunfire erupts in front of his home. Neighbors and passerby could only watch in horror as chaos unfolds. When the scene fell silent, Ortega was found dead. His wife, gravely wounded, was rushed to the hospital, while their child, who had witnessed this shocking attack, was left miraculously unharmed. The motive behind the assassination remains a mystery. Authorities haven't confirmed any direct links between Ortega's death and any criminal groups, but speculation has run rampant. Rumors suggested that his outspoken views, particularly his criticisms of certain political groups and cartels, may have made him a target. Now, some believe his rising influence had caught the wrong kind of attention. However, it doesn't matter because without concrete evidence, these will only be theories. What is certain, though, is that Ortega's tragic demise serves as a stark reminder of the dangers faced by individuals who dare to speak out in regions affected by violence. His loss not only leaves a void in Mexico's cultural preservation efforts, but also raises unsettling questions about the price of free expression in such volatile environments.
Un youtuber de nombre Agustín Paulene, de 22 años, conocido como el Pinky, fue asesinado a balazos y su cuerpo fue encontrado a la salida sur de la capital de Sinaloa.
January 9th, 2025. Now, what began as a typical day for Agustin Paul, better known as El Pinky, turned into a nightmare. The young YouTuber and TikToker, famous for his lively dance videos and viral challenges, had no idea that his latest upload would be his last. That very day, flyers were dropped over Culiacan accusing him of laundering money for a rival cartel, La Mayiza. Hours later, he vanished. The next day, a horrifying video surfaced. In it, El Pinky, bruised and battered, was shown surrounded by armed men. These men, believed to be part of Los Chapitos, a ruthless faction of the Sinaloa cartel, interrogated him, accusing him of being a snitch. They had no mercy. The verdict was clearly death. By January 10th, 2025, El Pinky's body was discovered in Culiacan with his hands and feet bound and a fatal gunshot to the head, signs of a calculated execution. El Pinky, amassing over 98,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, Los Plebes de Barrancos, and around 200,000 followers on TikTok, had really become a household name, thanks to his energetic dance clips and collaborations with other influencers. Despite being known for lighthearted content, he found himself entangled in something far darker. The reason behind his tragic fate remains unclear. It's uncertain if El Pinky had direct ties to cartel activities or if he was simply caught in a dangerous rivalry. His case serves as a stark reminder yet again of the dangers of interacting with cartels or even being falsely accused, where even unverified rumors can lead to deadly consequences.
Y en Guerrero fue asesinada en la zona turística de Acapulco la youtuber Pamela Montenegro, quien se hacía llamar la Nana Pelucas.
February 5th, 2018, would see the end of one of Mexico's most humorous journalists. Pamela Montenegro del Real, known by her satirical persona, La Nana Pelucas, was a fearless journalist and YouTuber from Acapulco, Mexico. And she gained popularity through her YouTube channel, El Sillon TV, where she combined humor with sharp critique of local politics and organized crime. Pamela wasn't just a content creator. She ran a print magazine, El Sillon, which focused on political analysis and social issues, offering a blend of cultural topics and lighthearted commentary. Her YouTube content often targeted corruption with the local government, especially highlighting the disconnect between the mayor's promises and the reality of unfinished public works. In her video, she wore a large wig and glasses, adopting a quirky style that made her critique more accessible while still packing a punch. However, her willingness to address issues surrounding drug cartels made her a target. Pamela's content often delved into the struggles caused by these criminal organizations, and this led to repeated threats from cartels who disapproved of her outspoken stance. Despite the growing danger, Pamela continued her work, unshaken by the threats. Unfortunately, her resistance to the warnings came at a high price. On February 5, 2018, Pamela was shot and killed in her own restaurant by armed assailants who pretended to be customers before opening fire. Authorities believe her murder was cartel-related. Pamela's death highlighted the deadly consequences yet again for these journalists who dare to confront corruption and organized crime in a country where such topics are often silenced by fear. Her legacy continues to inspire those who fight for free speech in the face of danger.
En Culiacán siguen los homicidios. Anoche, un youtuber de esa ciudad fue asesinado cuando llegaba a su casa. Él era conocido como Elgordo Peruti, quien se mostraba así en sus redes sociales.
On December 9, 2024, the world of lighthearted comedy was rocked by a horrifying twist. A beloved content creator who brought laughter and relief to thousands was brutally silenced forever. The man who once made fans roar with laughter met a chilling fate that no one saw coming. Leobardo Aspuro Soto, known online as Elgordo Peruti, was a famous YouTuber and content creator who would amass thousands of followers across different social media platforms. In most of his videos, Elgordo Peruti would play games with his friends, go out to eat at restaurants, and, at times, made jokes about organized crime groups and flashed weapons. Elgordo here gained fame for his collaborations with Marco Eduardo Castro Cárdenas, better known as Marquitos Toys. He had over 1 million followers on TikTok, approximately 470,000 on Instagram, and around 172,000 on YouTube. The attack on Elgordo Peruti happened right when violence in Sinaloa was really heating up, mostly because of ongoing power struggles between the two major Sinaloa cartel factions, Los Chapitos and Los Mayitos. This incident marked the third such murder of an influencer in the region within a 3-month span. Just a few days before he was killed, a cartel put a warning to his whole neighborhood, telling people to take down their security cameras. He posted a video saying he wasn't about to remove his, he just turned it off instead. Elgordo had recently reported on social media about the theft of Christmas lights from outside his residence, a post made just hours before that fatal shooting. In the late hours of December 9th, around 10 p.m., the shooting takes place outside his home. He's shot and later died from his injuries, while his wife, Brenda Felix, was shot in the abdomen and tragically passed away while receiving medical treatment. Authorities are still investigating the incident, but as of now, no arrests have been made.
Al menos 3 influencers sinaloenses les arrebataron la vida con violencia en menos de 3 meses en Culiacán, en medio de la crisis de violencia que desató la polémica detención de El Mayo.
November 23, 2024, the body of Jesus Miguel Vivanco Garcia, better known online as Elasper, was found dumped on a rural dirt road near El Ejido El Quemadito in Culiacán, Sinaloa. His family had been looking for him ever since he was abducted 2 days earlier from his home in Quila by a group of armed men. But nothing could have prepared him for the scene they would find. His hands were bound, his eyes blindfolded with green duct tape, his body riddled with bullets and showing clear signs of torture. It's that kind of brutal end that had become all too familiar in cartel territory, and this left the internet stunned. Elasper wasn't just some unknown local. He was a rising social media star, known for flexing luxury cars, designer outfits, and a lavish lifestyle. Alongside fellow influencer Marquitos Toys, together they built a massive following on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, showing off their high-rolling escapades. But that flashy content started raising eyebrows. Was it just for show, or did it reflect a deeper connection to the cartel world? Turns out U.S. authorities thought it was the latter. On September 26, 2023, the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, officially sanctioned Vivanco. They accused him of trafficking fentanyl into the U.S., laundering money, and help run cartel ops as far north as Vancouver, Canada. More importantly, he was allegedly tied to Mario Alberto Jimenez Castro, a key operator in the money laundering network of Los Chapitos, the faction led by El Chapo's sons. Vivanco's murder wasn't just an isolated case either. His body was found just days after another one was discovered in the same area, Municipal Officer Ramon Alberto N., who had also been kidnapped in Quila. He was found wrapped in a sheet, shot more than 70 times with AR-15s, and left with green tape binding his wrists. The similarities are hard to ignore, and the messages feels chillingly intentional. While Mexican authorities haven't named suspects nor motives, the brutality and high-profile nature of Elasper's killing suggests a possible score settling within organized crime. Some say he got too close to the wrong people. Others say he might have tried to leave the game, or just knew too much. Either way, his violent end paints a haunting picture of what can happen when internet fame meets cartel influence. In 2006, Valentine Elizalde dropped a track that many saw as a slap in the face to one of Mexico's deadliest cartels, and from that moment on, his fate took a dark turn. Elizalde, famously known as El Gallo de Oro, the Golden Rooster, was well on his way to becoming a legend. He was one of the most beloved voices in Mexico's norteño and banda music scene. His songs had this raw energy, bold, heartfelt, and full of swagger. But in the world of narco corridos, where artists sing about the drug trade and cartel life, stepping on the wrong toes could literally cost you everything. And for Valentine, that's exactly what happened. Now, he was born in Sonora, raised in a family where music was the heartbeat of life. His dad was also a known musician, and Valentine naturally followed in his footsteps. By the early 2000s, he'd become a household name, singing about everything from love and heartbreak to the brutal reality of cartel violence. But one song in particular would mark a turning point, A Mis Enemigos, translated to My Enemies. This wasn't your average diss track. Many thought it was a bold jab at Los Zetas, one of the most feared and violent cartels in Mexico. The lyrics hinted at betrayal and vengeance, with messages of rising above one's enemies. Lines that fans and foes alike believed were a nod to the Sinaloa cartel, rivals of Los Zetas. Whether Valentine intended it that way didn't really matter. When a cartel feels disrespected, there's rarely room for second chances. On the night of November 25, 2006, after performing in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, right in the heart of Zetas territory, Elizalde leaves the concert venue in a black SUV alongside his manager and driver. It wasn't long before a convoy of armed men ambush him. More than 70 rounds are fired. Valentine's hit multiple times in the head and chest, killed on the spot. His manager and driver don't make it out either. News of his murder shook the country. Fans are heartbroken. Theories immediately began to fly. Some said Zetas were behind it, striking back over those lyrics. Others said it had more to do with the behind-the-scenes ties to rival cartels in general. No matter that motive, though, the truth is still pointing to cartels. Even in death, his influence only grew. His songs explode in popularity, and A Mis Enemigos becomes something of a rebellious anthem, an echo of a man who dared to stand tall in a world full of shadows. There was even controversy surrounding his cousin, Tano Elizalde, the only survivor of the attack. People started whispering that maybe he set him up, but nothing concrete ever came out of that. Today, Valentine Elizalde is remembered as a star, whose life was cut short by the brutal realities of Mexico's cartel wars. Whether he knowingly crossed the line or just got caught in the wrong storm, one thing's certain, he angered the wrong people and paid with his life.
Juan Carlos N., conocido como el Chilango, quien se dedicaba a la venta de dulces y USB de música y también era TikToker, que en sus videos aludía a uno de los grupos del cártel de Sinaloa, fue asesinado a balazos, de acuerdo con un reporte de la Secretaría de Seguridad Pública.
October 19th, 2024, Culiacán, Sinaloa, starting like any other Saturday night. for Juan Carlos Lopez, better known to his followers as El Chilango. He's standing near a gas station on Isla Musala, not far from a Banorte bank, doing what he did every evening, selling candy, USB drives packed with music, and cracking jokes with his phone camera rolling. The man had built a small but loyal following on TikTok, mostly locals who loved how real he was. Always smiling, always hustling. But that night ended in tragedy. At around 7:45 p.m., two men roll up on a motorcycle. No words, just gunfire. A hail of bullets strike Juan Carlos, leaving him lifeless on the pavement. The sound of shots echo across the quiet streets. And just like that, El Chilango was gone. His death hit hard, especially for those who knew him not just as a vendor, but as a man who brought humor, street wisdom, and even a bit of music culture to their feeds every day. But underneath that public persona, there was something darker brewing. You see, El Chilango wasn't just another street TikToker. In several of his videos, he had publicly expressed admiration for Los Chapitos. In one particular eyebrow-raising post, Juan Carlos even thanked him for supposedly helping cover his medical expenses. Whether it's true or just bravado, it didn't really matter. Locals whispered that these videos were what got him killed. Speculation spread fast after his murder. Some believed it was members of a rival cartel faction, La Mayiza, who had him silenced as a warning. Others thought maybe he'd gotten too comfortable name-dropping people who don't like being talked about. In Sinaloa, that's a deadly mistake, no matter how many followers you have. Authorities launched this investigation, but again, we're in Culiacan. Answers are hard to come by, especially when it involves cartels. His body was recovered by police, but no arrests were made, and no one officially claimed responsibility. In the end, Juan Carlos' story is just one we've seen again and again. A regular guy trying to make something of himself, navigating life in a city controlled by shadowy power structures. His TikToks were a window into that daily grind. But the moment his content crossed into cartel territory, well, he went from internet personality to a target. And in Culiacan, that line can be razor thin.
Papas, yo te pongo a traer lo que sea la verga. Así que el mecho a mí me pela la verga.
December 18th, 2017, it was party time for El Pirata de Culiacan as he walked into a bar in Jalisco, laughing, drinking, and completely unaware that death was waiting for him. In minutes, gunmen stormed in, made a beeline right for him, and unleashed hell. There was zero chance of survival. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales, better known as El Pirata de Culiacan, was born in Villa Juarez, Navolato, Sinaloa, on June 1st, 1999, and he would grow up in poverty after being abandoned by his parents. He worked odd jobs, including washing cars, before actually finding internet fame. He made a name for himself as a Mexican internet sensation, gaining popularity with his wild, often alcohol-fueled videos, showcasing his excessive drinking and reckless behavior. His carefree and brash persona would earn him a loyal following. What started as a joke quickly turned into a career as his videos went viral, and he would gain hundreds of thousands of followers, even earning appearances in music videos and live performances. But it also attracted dangerous attention. Little did anyone know that his lifestyle, which thrived on controversy and pushing boundaries, would eventually catch up with him in the most tragic way possible. As his confidence with fame and alcohol consumption grew, so did his arrogance. In one infamous video, Lagunas made a fatal mistake, openly mocking Nemesio El Mencho Oseguera Cervantes, the ruthless leader of Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the top cartel in Mexico today. And in a drunken state, he was filmed saying,
Papas, yo te pongo a traer lo que sea la verga. Así que el mecho a mí me pela la verga.
Now this was no ordinary insult because anybody who knows El Mencho knows he's a man not to be disrespected, especially not publicly. His cartel was known for eliminating anyone who crossed him, and Lagunas had just put a target on his own back. On the night of December 18th, 2017, Lagunas and his friends went out drinking at Menta 2 Cantaros, a bar in Zapopan, Jalisco. He even posted his location, inviting fans to join him. Unfortunately, that invitation also reached the wrong people. Shortly after he arrived, 4 armed men stormed the bar, walked straight to him, and shoot him at least 15 times. It was targeted. No one else in this bar was harmed. Lagunas died on the spot. His funeral was held a few days later. His murder was widely believed to be retaliation for his insult against El Mencho, though no official suspects were arrested. Lagunas' death becomes a cautionary tale again about the dangers of internet fame and the stupid consequences of provoking powerful cartel figures. Make this story a grim reminder that in certain parts of this world, words, even though said in jest, can carry fatal consequences.
Disculpa, Mencho. Pide disculpas.
Disculpa, compa Mencho.
No están mis 5 sentidos.
Es que andaba bien pedo, ahorita ando.
In December 2017, 17 days after the death of El Pirata, Elchanito, hurt and angered, challenges El Mencho, seeking revenge for his friend's murder. Elchanito lived in the same city as El Pirata, Culiacán. Elchanito posted a 31-second video stating that he was not terrified about El Mencho's personality, and that El Mencho was stupid. As if his display of stupidity was the tip of the iceberg, he would decide to post the location of his residence to prove his bravery. Subsequently, Elchanito issued an apology in a viral video to El Mencho, attributing his previous statements to mental illness, stating that he was in a state of drunkenness and didn't mean any of the things he said. Rumors had it he was killed by hired assassins, but this was later debunked by an uploaded video of Elchanito living a happy life with his wife and child. However, he later disappeared from social media, leading to widespread speculation about his fate fueled by an unverified video, allegedly of CJ&G members brutally killing Elchanito. This is without official confirmation. His status remains uncertain.